Hello, this video will show you how to complete the Excel workbook for the Unit 9 discussion board. Open a blank Excel workbook and type your name into cell A1. And we're going to calculate the total cost of the computer equipment that you're purchasing. You need to have at least $10,000 worth of computer equipment. So let's say I found some laptops for sale at $1,200 each. In order to get to the $10,000 minimum, I would have to buy at least 9. So I'm going to type in plus 1,200 times 9, hit enter, and here it gives me the total cost of the laptops, which puts me over the $10,000. In column B, we're going to put the year. Column C is going to be the MACRS rate. Column D will be the annual depreciation. Column E will be the accumulated depreciation. And then column F will be the end of year book value. Okay, before we get the formulas in, I'm going to do a little bit of formatting here to make everything fit and look nice. So in column A, I'm going to widen the column by double clicking. Column B, I'm also going to kind of narrow the column by double clicking. Same thing with column C. Once I get to column D, this is pretty wide to do annual depreciation. That's fine. If you want to just widen the column, you may do that. But just to show you something else, you can choose this wrap text. It'll stack the words on top, so you don't have to have such a wide column. But it did take the word depreciation and carry it over to a third line, which I don't like. So I'm going to go to the top of the column. I'm going to click and hold my mouse and widen it until it fits as 2 words. E, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wrap the text. Go to the top of the column and widen it until it fits nicely. And I'll do the same thing with end of year book value. I'll wrap it and then I'll drag the column to make it wide. So now what you notice is my row is too tall after I've done that. So at the beginning of row 2, I'm going to click on the black arrow, click on Format, and choose Auto Fit Row Height. And that will shrink it back to a good size. In the year column, you're going to type the numbers 1 through 6. MACRS rate, first year is 20%, year 2 is 32%, year 3 is 19.2%, year 4 is 11.52%, same thing for year 5, and then year 6 is 5.76%. The annual depreciation, we have to multiply the MACRS rate times the total cost. So I'm going to type in a plus, an arrow over to cell C3, hit times, and then arrow over to cell A3, hit enter, and now it's calculated year 1's depreciation for me. Now, if we copy the formula down, it's going to mess up the formula, unfortunately, because it is pulling from cell C4, which is what we want, but it also moved down a cell and did A4, which we don't want. We want it to keep pulling the information from cell A3. So to overcome that, in my original formula, if I want A3 to stay, what I need to do is I need to put a $sign in front of the A to make sure it stays in column A, and also a $sign in front of the 3 to say it's going to stay in column A, row 3, if I copy the formula. Now, if I click and hold the bottom right-hand corner and drag it down the column, it will copy the formula down that column and calculate the annual depreciation for each of the different MACRS rates. For the accumulated depreciation, we have to add each year's depreciation together. So for the first year, we just need the first year's depreciation. So I can type in a plus, arrow over, click enter. For the second year, I wanted to add up years 1 and 2. So I'm going to go over here to this summation symbol and click on that. And then I'm going to highlight the accumulated or the annual depreciation from years 1 and 2, and then hit enter. And then for year 3, I'm going to click on the summation symbol and highlight years 1 through 3, and hit enter. And then year 4, highlight years 1 through 4. And then year 5, summation, years 1 through 5, enter. And then year 6, summation, do years 1 through 6, hit enter. And now this year 6 should match your total cost if you've done it correctly. For the end of year book value, we're going to take the total cost and subtract the accumulated depreciation. I'm going to type in a plus, click my total cost, then a minus, and I'm going to click on the accumulated depreciation, hit enter. Again, I want to copy down this formula. However, I want it to stay with cell A3. So in front of the A, I'm going to type in a $sign, and in front of the 3, I'm going to type in a $sign. Now I can click and drag from the lower right-hand corner down, and it copied the end of your book value all the way down. It ended with 0 at the bottom, which is what I wanted it to do. Okay, so this completes the table. If you want to do some formatting things to make it look nicer, that's fine. For all of the dollar values, you can highlight them and number format it as a dollar. For the Macker's rate, if you want to make those percents, that's fine, but note that if you do choose percent, it will round it to the nearest percent, and we want to see those decimals. So you will also have to click on increase decimal twice to see all the decimals amounts. So once you're happy with your spreadsheet, open up the snipping tool and click on New. Highlight the section that you want to snip. You're going to save it. Then go into your discussion board. When you're ready to put in your screenshot, go up to Insert Image, click on My Computer. You can click on Upload to find the file, or you can drag it. Click on Add as Attachment, and that this image is decorative, and it will post. And below that, you can go ahead and finish up your discussion board below that. And when you are done, click on Post.